Hey group, so just a quick reminder, I am doing my internship over at an agency that houses an in-home counseling facility, substance abuse facility, as well as outpatient therapy for children and adults. And this video for this week, I wanted to talk about informed consent. So there has been some discrepancies in informed consent as far as I'm concerned because some of the individuals that I come across seem to not have the skills that they need in order to be able to sign informed consent forms as far as I am concerned. So I went to my site supervisor and started asking questions like, if a person doesn't have guardianship already, what is the process? How does that work? How do we get it started? And she said that it was a very lengthy process. And she also said that it sometimes is up to the discretion of the person that is asking the questions. So the individual that I have in mind is an adult, but she has very childlike mannerisms and she has a payee. So as soon as I realized that she had a payee, my first thought was if she has a payee, she probably should have someone help her to sign her paperwork for services. But they're not one and the same, and I didn't know that. That's something that I learned this week, that those two things are not one and the same. So my fear and my concern is that we get her in there, start her with services, get her set up with certain things, and maybe some things she's going to say yes to that might should be a no, or maybe some things she's going to say no to that might should be a yes, because her level of understanding seems to be blurred. There are some things that she can understand. So as far as I'm concerned, it seems like she was good at maintaining money and counting and budgeting and things like that because she could talk about it in a way that made it seem like she understood. So I didn't understand why she had a payee. But when it comes down to her signing documents, she does have children, so different things about her kids, and she just didn't seem to have a clear understanding as to what we were saying to her, which just required, me to say it a few more times or try to ask questions to make sure that she understood. But it was taking me a long time to get her intake process done because I wanted to make sure that she really understood, which raised questions for the people who had me working on the packet. They were wondering what was taking so long. And I just didn't feel comfortable or confident that she understood exactly what was going on. And the people that had me working on the intake process kind of told me to, carry on, go ahead and get it done because there were so many others that needed to have things done, but I just felt uneasy about it. Um, I don't know if any of you all have had any issues or concerns or things as far as informed consent goes. Another thing that had me confused as far as informed consent was I was used to hearing releases of information, and I always kind of couple those two things together, informed consent and release of information, because working with the substance abuse folks, there are a lot of other agencies that are tied together, like probation or DSS or several other things that you have kind of in your treatment plan that's going along with what it is that you're being treated for, or the different agencies that are involved in your care. So of course we have to have releases of information, and I was kind of mixing the two up, informed consent and releases of information. But now I have a firmer grip on what it is that they are and how they're different. But what I don't really have a firm grip on is what do you do when you come across an individual that doesn't seem to be um, competent enough to sign certain pieces of paper. How would you deal with that? What would you do? Have you had those sorts of things happen at your site? Is that something that's come up for you all? So that is my question for y'all this week. What would you do in my situation? Um, or if you have your own situations that are similar, what happened for you all? Have a good week.